Hi everyone, welcome to another historical sewing video. You have no idea how excited I am for this one. I've been working towards this for more than a year because in today's video we are going to finish my Victorian outfit. I already have the underwear, the chemise, corset, petticoat and corset cover. And then in my last sewing video we made the French fan skirt, which you can catch a glimpse of behind me. Right here. So let's rewind a little bit and look at the finished skirt again to get into the mood. I absolutely love it and I cannot wait to make the bodice. Speaking of the bodice, I'm going to use another truly Victorian pattern. This one is the TV493 and it's from the same time period as the rest of my outfit. The same time period within the Victorian time period. So it should all look really great together. I am making the more plain version. Like with the skirt, I want to make something more simple for my first historical outfit. Just to kind of ease into it. And then in the future, I would like to make something more elaborate, outrageous, if you will. But we're starting simple. So we're just making the basic version. Now for all my supplies. The main fabric is the same as the skirt, of course. It's going to be a matching set. This is navy blue cotton with a beautiful white floral print. Then I also need a lining and interlining. So for the interlining, I have this kind of heavier weight cotton fabric in this beautiful light blue color. This will be used for the main part of the bodice. Then I have this really pretty lightweight cotton fabric that I will be using to line the sleeves with. So that's the fabric. And then I also have some other supplies. I have this lace. This is the same as I use for the skirt. I'm probably going to attach this to the hem, then the sleeve cuffs, and maybe along the collar as well, in a seam between the bodice itself and the collar. But I'm not 100% sure about that last one yet, so we will see. And then I have some boning. I actually have two types of boning. I have some synthetic baleen. That's going to be the main boning, so it will be used for the darts and for almost every other place I need to put boning in. The second type is the spiral boning, which the pattern actually recommends for the side seams. So I have those, and then I have some other basic supplies. Now, because the fit of the body should be close to perfect, I did make a mock-up already. Hang on, let me get it. Here it is. It only has one sleeve because that was good enough. I just used some old sheets, and then I figured out the size I needed based on my measurements. Let's see what it looks like on. Here it is. I first thought I would have to adjust the waist because I'm kind of in the middle of two sizes, but I actually don't think it's necessary. It fits really nicely almost everywhere, except for the sleeves. They do fit nicely, but they are definitely too short, which I kind of expected because I do have long arms. So I'll just extend that with a couple of centimeters. And then the collar is also too tight, cannot close it, so I will need to extend that as well. But apart from that, I am really happy with the fit. It's not gaping anywhere, it's not wrinkling anywhere, so yeah, very excited. So now I'm ready to start working on the actual bodice. I'm so excited. Let's get all my fabric and my pattern pieces and start cutting out everything I need. And then we can start sewing. We are now joined by my sewing machine, which can only mean one thing. We are ready to start sewing. Now I've done the prep work. So after I cut out all the pieces, I then basted the interlining layers to the outer layers because it's all going to be flat lined. So they need to be treated as one piece, and to make sure nothing shifts or we get weird bunching or stuff like that, I had to flat line. So I just basted around the edges. That's ready to go. Then I did all the markings and then I prepped the darts. So in the front piece, I've pressed and pinned the darts. So I'm ready to start sewing those. And then once that is done, I'm going to attach all the bodice pieces to each other. So all the side seams kind of. And I only need to finish the shoulder seam allowance because everything else will be covered by boning channels. So that's great. Also, I forgot to mention this, but just like with the skirt, I'm going to sew all the invisible seams on the sewing machine and the visible ones by hand. It's starting to look like a bodice. Now that that's done, what I need to do is do the boning channels. And for the fabric, you may have noticed in a time lapse of me cutting out the fabric that I forgot to extend the outer sleeve first time around. I cut it out again, longer this time, but yeah. And I have this piece of fabric and I don't want to waste it. So I decided to make the boning channels out of the outer fabric. And I think it could also just look really nice on the inside. Just a little contrasting pieces of fabric. I'm just going to cut out all the boning channels and then I'm going to sew them on by hand so that you don't see it on the outside. And then we are going to move on to the sleeves, which is I don't know, a little bit scary. So this is where we're at. I put it on the mannequin really quickly because I wanted to see what it looks like. I'm very excited. I finished the boning channels. Then I also cut all the boning pieces. But yeah, looking great so far. Now it's time for the sleeves. So the inner and the outer sleeves are now sewn together, which is very exciting. I've also run some gathering stitches along the sleeve cap on both the outer layer and the lining. And now we're doing something exciting. We are sewing the lining to the outer layer and at the same time attaching the lace. So I need to find, first I need to turn this right side out. I think I'm first going to pin the lace to the sleeve cuff. And now I need to think, because it's going to be flipped to the inside. So I need to make sure that I put it here. So that when it's flipped to the inside, it will poke out like this. Use this seam as a starting point. And then I need to get the sleeve or the lining that matches this one. Here we are. Then make sure that the side seams match up. And transfer the pins to this layer. Now let's, for a few seconds, if I then pull this through to the inside. It matches up. So I did that correctly. Now I'm going to pin the other one as well, and then we can sew the cuffs. Yay! I finished attaching the lining to the sleeve cuff area at least, and I think it looks pretty cute with the little lace edge. Then I removed the bodice from the mannequin again because it's time to put in the sleeves, which is always a little bit scary for me. I don't know why I struggle with setting the sleeves, and particularly with the mock-up, I had to redo it a couple of times. I didn't really get it right immediately. So I think I'm just going to get my mock-up and see if I can figure out from there how exactly I did it. But I've done it before, so it should be easier now. I just need to make sure that everything matches up and that I gather up the sleeve cap. Then I can just put it in and hope everything works out fine. Fingers crossed. And we have sleeves, or at least we have sleeves attached. I don't know if it's perfect, I don't think it is, but I tried it on really quickly and it's fine. And honestly, that's the best I can hope for. So now that the sleeves are on, we have two major things to do. Collar, which I'm going to do first, and then later we need to do the hem. And for that I need to do some prep work. But let's do the collar. I have the pieces, lining as well. I just need to sew that together along the outer edges, right sides together, then attach it to the neckline, fold it right side out, and then attach the lining to the inside. So pretty simple, which is a nice change from the sleeves, which I always struggle with. Okay, I was pinning it on and then I realized that this is not how I want to do it. I want to first fold the front opening to the inside, finish that nicely, so that then I can just attach it here, fold it all the way around, and then it will be much nicer than if I don't do that. So abort mission. Going to remove these pins again, put the collar to the side, and I'm going to first finish the front edge. So I'm going to fold it to the inside twice, like that, and then I'm going to sew that first. And for that I'm going to sew it by hand, because otherwise it will be very visible from the outside. So let's do that first, and then we will attach the collar. So after the little detour of finishing the front first, I sewed on the collar and I finished it on the inside, so that's looking all really nice. Now I'm going to move on to the hem, and I've already done a little bit of prep work. I've cut a strip of fabric that's longer than the hem, and I've just pinned it to the hem, and I'm just going to sew along there. And then when it's done, I can fold it to the inside, sew it down on the inside so that it's all nice and finished. Then after that, I'm going to sew on the lace edge as well. I just need to make sure that when I'm sewing now, I don't accidentally close the boning channels. I finished the hem, so before I did that I actually removed all the basting stitches and then I put in the boning. Then I folded the extra strip that I cut out to the inside and finished the hem. Well, kind of finished. I still need to do the lace part. But before I do the lace part, I need to think, do I want the lace to be attached kind of to the inside so that it pokes out a little bit, just like the sleeves? Or do I want to attach it on the outside so that the entire lace part is visible, if that makes sense? Because that's kind of what I have on the skirt. Except on the skirt it's a little bit above the hem. And this one is definitely going to be on the hem. I'm just not sure how far I'm going to extend it, if that makes sense. And then one final step is going to be the hook and eye closures. But before I do that, I want to try it on, just to make sure that I get the placement right. And then I also need to decide if I want to add the lace to the collar. Yes or no. But I have some time. First I need to do the lace on the hem and then the hook and eye closures. It's done. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I think like I've said a couple of times already, I've been dreaming of this for so long and I finally finished my full Victorian outfit and I think it looks great. I mean, for a first time try at a Victorian outfit, I think it looks pretty good. There are some things that could be improved upon. The back of the skirt is a little bit long. And for the bodice, I didn't actually sew a closure here. I just pinned it into place because it's a little bit strange, the collar. I could fix it, but some other day. And apart from that, I think it fits really nicely. I'm kind of surprised at how well the fit worked out, even though I made a mock-up. Definitely happy that I added some length to the sleeves because, yeah, I really needed that. I love the lace details around the cuff and at the bottom edge. So there we have it, the entire outfit complete, and I had so much fun working on this. And I'm now even more excited to do more historical sewing. I already planned out the next project, which is going to be 18th century. So we're going back one more century, and I'm so excited to start working on that. So keep an eye out for that. That's the next sewing project I'm going to work on, so it shouldn't take too long before we start working on that. But for now, I'm just going to end this video here. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Let's get all the fabric that I need. I got out my sewing. Oh, better is that. Hang on. Clip wherever it's necessary. Which also would, I don't know.